Hello and welcome to DUI's banner GBF banner review number 2, July Legend Edition. I still haven't got a name for this, so please help. Anyways, getting right into it. I had some feedback from last time, so this video's format will be a bit different compared to last time. So let's start with an overview of the banner. This banner features the most summer characters we've ever seen released at a single time in Granblue. I think that's correct, don't fact check me. But anyways, we have 4 new characters here. Fediel, Aliza, Dorothy and Claudia, and Yurius, as well as Summer Cerberus as a summon. All of these featured characters and Cerberus are rate up. They are 0.5% chance. You can check that by going to the draw rates button here. And if you scroll down, you can see that they are 0.5%. Now, right here, you can also see that Granblue is rate up, but at a slightly lower rate, 0.3%. Also on this banner, we have a Vadra. You can check that by clicking the Sparkable button, scrolling all the way to the bottom, and you can see that Vadra is available as well. So, the highlights of the banner would be Fediel. Fediel seems to be very good for Water Ogi. I'll get more into it later, but she seems very good for that. And the other highlight that I would like to point out is Summer Cerberus. Summer Cerberus is a summon which looks to be very useful for 5 manual burst. If you are sparking on this banner, wait for free pulls. Free pulls were just announced a bit earlier. We'll be getting 10 pulls every day on login, so wait for those free pulls, and on August 3rd, you can finish your spark. Also, if you plan to buy the scam, make sure you use the scam on the last part of your spark. So use the scam when this spark number says draw 289. Since you get to choose what's in the scam, you don't want to put something in the scam that you get during your pulls, right? I'll have a video coming out later which will help you decide what to put on that scam. Overall, this banner is decent to spark if you want one of these featured units or Cerberus. This banner is also decent to spark on if you don't have Granblue and you want the best chance at getting her without sparking. It's also decent if you want extra copies of her weapon Evanescence, but you don't ever need more than 3, and even 3 these days might not be necessarily the best. Another reason to spark is if you're a fire main and you want to potentially save some sunstones on Cerberus. And finally, this banner is probably your last chance to get Vadra in 2023. Her estimated return is early 2024. So if you want to spark Vadra or have a chance at getting Vadra, this banner will be your last chance this year, most likely. There'll be at least one more summer banner coming up in the future, which is August Flash. Reminder that August Legends will not be having its all summer featured raid up this year like the previous years. More info on that is probably coming on Saturday during the GBF stream, and we'll be watching that live on Twitch if you guys want to come hang out. Links in the description. Alright, so first up we have Summer Fediel, who is a water-based Ogi character or charge attack character. She looks to be really strong for water and is probably going to be quite meta in the charge attack focus team. So a team with something like MC Kengo, Vadra, and Fediel, plus either Poseidon or Shalem, depending on the situation. Basically, her kit revolves around improving the team's charge attacks. This is done through her first passive and her skill 1. She also provides various dispels and debuffs on her other skills. And while her skill 1 cooldown might look really long, it's 16 turns once you level her up. The uptime on the skill ends up being quite good. In a Kengo team, it seems to be around uptime of 5 out of 7 turns. Now, since S1 drains your HP every turn, there is some synergy with the Rise of Justice New World Foundation weapon. Since Fediel's third skill dispels, she'll be able to negate some of that HP loss. Fediel seems to be quite good for full auto and Guildborn Nightmares if you aren't doing the auto attack burst. She'll be quite good in FA as well as manual charge attack setups. Next up we have Summer Aliza, a wind character that revolves around tanking damage and countering. Her skill 2 and skill 3 help achieve this. Her skill 2 provides a lot of defensive buffs for the team, and her skill 3 gives her hostility as well as other benefits. The team utility that she provides is mostly defensive, since she'll be tanking a lot of the damage that your team might be taking, and her buffs. This condition on her skill 1 will usually be fulfilled on the second cast. Aliza looks to be a decent FA character, useful if the boss has AoE autos or triggers. She'll deal much less damage otherwise, since she won't be tanking damage as often. Depending on the Guild War boss, you are likely to see her in full auto setups in NM150 and higher, and the defensive buff on Ogi is quite useful in those situations also. There's a chance that she might be used for some NM200 mash strats, but we'll have to see how that pans out. Aliza has some synergy with the Theatre of Temperance weapon, which is Esteriola's New World Foundation weapon, since her skill 3 prevents her from attacking, which means that her counters will be buffed by the assassin buff that's given by the weapon. There is also a Summer Belial interaction with how her counter works. Basically, dodge and counter takes priority over tank and counter, and since Summer Belial gives dodge and counter, she'll essentially be countering less on the first couple turns. So it's a good idea to maybe not bring Summer Belial if you are using her in your team. Alright, next up we have Dorothy and Claudia Summer version. This is a fire full auto character with 2 distinct modes. One more offensive, which is Claudia, and the other a bit more defensive, which is Dorothy. This character features linked skills, so basically these skills share a cooldown with each other. Both of them have a 2 out of 3 uptime. Her skill 1 gives her a unique stack that interacts with the rest of her skill set. Essentially, by turn 7, you should have 3 stacks. So basically, this character gets stronger past turn 7. Due to what Dorothy and Claudia provide, she'll end up being useful in a lot of different FAs. She gives damage, she gives dispel, she gives debuffs, a lot of things that are just generally useful for many different types of situations. Her skill 2 provides bonus damage, and since it is an A-sided echo, it will conflict with Alanan's skill 2 and Holiday Kane's skill 2 as well. So you won't be able to use both those units and stack all the echoes together. Usually in Guild War NM150 plus full autos, having access to things like debuffs and dispels is usually quite useful. The only thing is that since Dorothy and Claudia switch between each other, sometimes you might really need a debuff or a dispel, but you're on the wrong form, so that's the only thing to keep in mind. Now for the last character, Yurius Summer. Yurius Summer seems to have much more applications than his Wind version, who was really locked to only high level raids. His S1 is quite similar. In the past, this sort of skill was really useful for hard raids, but these days it sees much less use. His skill 3 has a nice utility in providing a double dispel, and it's nice for FA as well since it does damage as well. The main star of his skill set is, however, skill 2. His skill 2 is a really big nuke that changes in its effectiveness depending on how many debuffs are on the boss. And combined with his first passive, it will trigger automatically if you have landed 5 debuffs in the same turn. So we have some synergies with a couple of other things that are available to us. Most notably, we have some synergies with Berserker Beastfang, Mana Diver, with various Manitors, Makura and Luo. All of these characters provide debuffs when they auto attack, so it will be a reliable way to proc Yurius's first passive. Another character that will have decent synergy with Yurius is a character like Song, who just provides a lot of debuffs to stack up Yurius's hit count on his second skill. The only downside to this skill is that he has no way to proc his first passive on his own during full auto. If you're manualing, you can click his skill 1. Finally, we have Summer Cerberus Summon. This summon is probably the best new thing on the banner. It's not a main or a summon, but it has a very powerful call. At full limit break, it becomes basically Fire Demon Brim with a good sub-aura. Now, unlike Wind, there isn't much enmity support at the moment in Fire. The only bloodshed weapon is Black Dragon's Maw, which isn't that great of a weapon. But regardless, this summon still provides echo for the team for 3 turns, which is really powerful. Spartan also has a new enmity support skill, which might synergize really well with the summon, but do note it has some negative synergy with Ixaba, which is a meta fire weapon. However, if fire gets a really good bloodshed weapon in the future, this summon might get very, very, very good then. Regardless, even right now, this summon will be good for manual burst rotations. Its main competition right now is Red Hair, and the 2 echoes don't stack because they're both summon-sided. Red Hair has 30% echoes for 1 turn, and Summer Cerberus will have 20% echo for 3 turns with Enmity activation. Summer Cerberus is very likely to be used for NM95 and higher setups. However, despite how strong the summon may appear to be, I don't recommend stoning her at least until the end of summer, because you might pull some extra copies between now and then, especially with the free pulls. And even then, stones are quite limited, so I would probably only stone this summon once you see a setup that you really want to do and if you're really invested into fire. Alright, so that's everything for this video. Good luck if you guys are pulling, stay strong if you're saving, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.